I must be going through these newspapers like water. I ran out of colored papers. I had to get some more. What's up, everybody? We alive. Yet another day above soil. I want to talk about a couple of things. The first thing is going to be more of a housekeeping item, and the second one's going to be a little bit more controversial. So I'm going to let y'all know when we're going to get into the controversial part. And I just want to give y'all a pre-warning. If you are triggered by racism, if you're triggered by violence, if you're triggered by stereotypes, namely the situation that happened in Buffalo a couple of days ago, if you are at all triggered by the events that happened that day, you may want to turn away when I tell you to turn away. Got it? All right. I done went through so many newspapers, so many sticks of glue. I already used up a 28-ounce jar on Mod Podge because I needed to make more of these bowls. I had 6 of these bowls, and I'm just going to sell them. I'm going to sell them all. So I'm going to be at a craft show on Thurston Road. It's going to be called the Ease On Down Community Event. It's going to be on Thurston Road, and I'm going to be in Rochester. It's going to be this coming Saturday and Sunday. I believe it's the 21st and the 22nd. The show's going to be between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. I'm going to be there this coming Saturday and Sunday. So if you or any of your friends and family is going to be down in Rochester, y'all best come on down. Look for the Skull and Crossbones and the lime green bandana. You're not going to miss me. I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. So y'all best come on over or ease on down to the community event on Thurston Road in Rochester. We're going to have such a good time. It's my hope that the rain subsides because I've been low-key looking up the weather forecast for Rochester, and it kept saying 30% chance, 40% chance. So I am praying to Jesus that the storm will subside. And as a matter of fact, today I'm not only going to be finishing up these bowls, but I need to make a few drink coasters, and I figure I'd talk to y'all while I make the drink coasters today. So at this moment in time, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm giving y'all a pre-warning about what I'm going to be talking about at this very moment in time. So there was a situation in Buffalo that happened, and it was pretty graphic. If you're triggered by racism, if you're triggered by terrorism, if that at all, gun violence, if that at all is a trigger for you, you may want to turn away right now. All right, here's my opinion about what happened in Buffalo, New York. So in Buffalo, and this happened at a Tops grocery store, there was somebody who made the decision to go into the Tops food market and shoot 10 people, 10 African American people. And then he almost shot himself. He almost self-deleted himself. But the police officers talked him down and he was arrested. After the situation, he was tried. And he pled not guilty, being very cognizant what he did. He written out a plan, a manifesto. He written out a manifesto about what he wanted to do. If he wasn't going to go to Buffalo, he was going to go to Rochester. And for some of y'all who came from upstate New York, y'all know what I'm talking about. But Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, Syracuse, and then you go to downstate New York, which is like that little hoopa joop at the very bottom where there's a whole bunch of buildings and stuff, those are the more diverse parts of New York. Then you got Ithaca and you got Utica, but you look at places like Buffalo and Rochester, and there seems to be more people or minorities who live there. So this individual decided to go to Buffalo and kill 10 African American individuals. Here's the thing, and I really do. I remember saying this at one point in one of my previous videos. It was somewhere between 4 or 5 months ago. Hatred is taught. You can't just be born and you can be spewing racial epithets. You can't be born and then weld a gun and shoot people just because. You can't just be born that way. Racism is taught. I am very saddened about what had happened, and I wish all my condolences on the families who have lost their loved ones. And to be very honest, I'm sickened by the amount of gun violence situations that have plagued our society. I'm upset, very upset. And I honestly want to know if there's anybody who is watching me directly, if you or anybody you know, and there's probably some people out there who do know somebody who is deemed a white supremacist. If you have some sort of discrepancy, if you do not appreciate or you have some kind of apprehension with someone who looks like me, I would like to talk to you and have an open-ended dialogue. I don't want to be condescending to you, but I want to know what's going on, if there is any kind of hatred towards people who look like me or anybody else who is considered a minority. Now, as much as I talk about mental health, as much as I like talking about the environment, as much as I love throwing down and burning in the kitchen, I'm sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. I can't just sweep this under the rug. I can't. Because it's not good. Here's the deal. I think it takes a lot of energy to hate somebody. It's too much energy if I'm not mistaken. However, I feel that if you generate feelings of love, that conquers all. It does. In the past, there's been quite a few people out there who started genocides. There were people who did school shootings. There has been people who assassinated presidents, other historical figures. And in one of my later videos, I'm going to somewhat talk about the word assassination. There's a difference between just shooting somebody point blank and assassinating. John F. Kennedy was assassinated because there was a plan. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated because there was a plan. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated because there was a plan. I would have to say that this would be a mixture between an assassination and an all-out shooting. This is why. The person who went into the Tops grocery store, he had a plan. He had some kind of plan, and he wanted to end a certain person, like a certain attribute. He wanted to end a person's life. But then you look at individual targets. There was a certain plan to kill a very specific individual. The person who went to the grocery store, He had a plan of killing somebody. He went in there with a vest and he went in with a gun. He wasn't discreet at all about it. It was all over the cameras. He had a plan going into the supermarket, but he didn't have a specific plan of who he wanted to shoot. He had a plan of ending the lives of African Americans. He had some kind of plan. But at the end of the day, there were victims who are no longer with us. There are families who are missing these individuals, and now they're going to be living their lives knowing that they could have had those loved ones, but they're not there no more. And it's because of hate. I don't know if I've probably spoken about anger in one of my previous videos, but I want to reiterate something. It is okay to be angry. It is within our human nature. It is justifiable to be angry at a situation, to be angry at a person, to be angry about unjust actions. If you are angry at somebody, if you are angry at something, it is important to be diplomatic with your anger. So you have the subject or the person you're angry with. Before you go off the handle and you mop somebody in the face, you shoot somebody, or maybe you hold it in, you bottle it up. You have justifiable reasons why you're angry at somebody, but you're just going to hold a grudge. Before any of that boopity-boop stuff happens, formulate some sort of plan so that there is productivity. So I'm just going to go back to the person who was the perpetrator, the person who shot the individuals within that supermarket. I'm trying to think if there were some situations where this individual was exposed to negative situations involving black men or black women. Because usually that's how situations start. It's because a person may have had a very negative experience with a certain individual, a certain characteristic. Like, let's say that you go to a specific place and something very negative happens. You may not want to feel like going to a certain place after that. That is justifiable. So maybe this person encountered other African Americans and it wasn't a positive experience. And maybe he grew up with a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, an auntie, an uncle, or teachers, a priest, some sort of authority figure who did not teach coping mechanisms for anger. They did not teach how to have a productive conversation or how to circumnavigate difficult conversations. Maybe that did not happen. I think it's unfortunate if that is the case. And I want to take a stand by making this video. If there's anybody out there in the world at all, who has any ill feelings about people who look like me, I personally want to talk to you and I want to see where your head is at. Because here's the deal. I do not have any room in my life, in my heart, for hatred. I don't. I really don't. It's taxing to hate on somebody, to hold a grudge, or to get so belligerent that you're gonna cap somebody in the head and their life. And then you're going to have to go to jail and you're going to have to live with that said action. You may get the death penalty, you may not. But your anger was so far extended that it had to go to that extreme. I want this video to serve as an outlet. If there is anybody who has some sort of hatred, if you have a grudge on somebody or people who look like me, on minorities, if you have grudges or if you're angry at something or somebody in general, I personally want to talk to you. I'm just being straight and plain with y'all. Once again, hatred is taught. You can't just be born to hate certain people. It doesn't work like that, man. How about this? We're going to work together and we're going to get through this. There's a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, it doesn't discriminate. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. We're halfway there. I hope to see y'all on the other side. I leave you all with much love, good spirits, and vibes. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.